If you're planning some travels to Taiwan, you will need to at some point catch a Taiwan High Speed Rail train, aka a THSR. It is the easiest and quickest way to get from Taipei to cities like Taichung, Kaohsiung, Tainan, and more. But how do you go about getting a ticket? And do you need to reserve them beforehand, or can you just get them on the day? What's the difference between a reserve and a non-reserved seat? And also, the tickets are so expensive. Is there a way to save money, especially if I plan on taking multiple THSRs? I'm someone who has caught the THSR multiple times, and the answer to that is yes, by the way, and I'm also going to answer all these other questions and more in this video that is going to get you ready to take a Taiwan high-speed rail train like a local expert by the end of this video. By the way, I'm Steve from the Fat Life Project. Welcome or hello again if you're a subscriber to the channel. I hope you're having a good weekend, by the way, and thank you for spending it with me. If you're new to the channel, my channel is full of travel guides just like the one that you're watching right now that's going to get you ready to navigate cities around the world like a seasoned expert. And so if traveling is your vibe, definitely subscribe so that we can go on more fat travel adventures together. And with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into it, shall we? Taiwan's high-speed rail, aka the THSR, is Taiwan's equivalent to Japan's Shinkansen. Set between you and I think Taiwan's version is a lot easier to understand and navigate. The THSR network is one of Asia's most impressive rail systems, stretching along Taiwan's west coast from Taipei in the north to Jiuying, aka Kaohsiung, in the south, covering a distance of roughly about 350 kilometers and connecting 12 major stations, including Taipei, Taoyuan, Taichung, Jiayi, Tainan, and Jiuying. The sleek Japanese design trains can reach speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour and has cut down what used to be a 5-hour train ride from Taipei to Kaohsiung to now about 90 minutes. With frequent departures, punctual schedules, and easy transfers to local transports, the THSR network is your key to exploring Taiwan. That's awesome, Steve. So how do I get tickets? There's several ways you can get a THSR ticket, and in this next section, I'm going to run you through all the methods. Let's start with the most straightforward way, which would be to get it on the day itself. This method's fairly straightforward, and you can do this once you arrive at any HSR station at one of these automated ticket machines. Select English or Chinese if you do read it. From there, it will ask you if you would like to purchase a non-reserved seat or reserved seat, or if you're here to pick up a ticket. Now, what do all of these options mean? Well, if you're familiar with Japanese Shinkansens, the first two mean essentially the same thing. The non-reserved seats option means that you're purchasing a ticket to be in the non-reserved seating carriages, where the seatings are first come first served, which means that you do run the risk of having to stand for the entire train ride in the event that that particular train ride is busy or full. And that is always going to be a risk, especially if you're not boarding at Taipei or Jiuying, which is why I personally always go for the reserved sitting option so that I don't have to worry about that. If you, by the way, prefer to deal with a human when you're purchasing a ticket, you can also head to these counters to purchase either the reserve or non-reserve tickets. You can choose to purchase a single or return trip, and also choose to pay using a variety of methods from cash, credit cards, to even Apple and Google Play. I was actually recently in Tainan and was advised to pre-book my THSR ticket ahead of time, as it was going to be the long weekend in Taiwan, and thus they were expecting a higher than usual volume of travelers. Which is exactly what this ticket pickup option is, by the way, for. I usually pre-purchase my tickets via Klook. It is fairly straightforward to do, as you can see here. Simply pick your departing and arriving station, fill in your details, and make your purchase. Of course, you can choose any other third-party platform and also book via the THSR official website directly as well, but I choose Klook as I accumulate points with them. But also, full transparency, I am a Klook affiliate, which means that I do earn a tiny kickback if you do use my code to purchase a train ticket or two, although anything I earn honestly at this point goes back to funding the trips that I go on in order to create more of this kind of content for you. Besides, you'll also get a kickback in the form of 10% off your train tickets and also any other travel activity you book via Klook. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the choice is entirely yours, but I really do, as always, appreciate the support. But if you do purchase your ticket via a third-party booking website, this next part's important. You will need to head to the THSR official website, enter your confirmation code for the system to generate a reservation code. Once that's done, you've got two options once you arrive at a high-speed rail station. Either head to one of these machines and choose the pickup option, enter your reservation code to redeem your ticket, or head to one of these counters and show them your reservation code to be issued the actual train ticket. This next section is for those who plan to take multiple THSR rides during your trip. Did you know that you can actually save money by purchasing a 2, 3, or 5 day pass that allows you to take unlimited THSR rides. The prices for each of them are also not outrageous, as you can see here, unlike the JR Pass. I mean, definitely compare them against what you would have spent if you were to purchase all your train tickets individually, but I would say that if you're planning to take at least 4 THSR rides, that these passes would already be worth it. And don't forget that you can also use my Klook code to purchase for an additional 10% off. Whether you pre-booked it or purchased it on the day, this is a typical train ticket that you're gonna get. This particular one is for my ride from Tainan to Taipei, and I'm gonna use it to illustrate some things that you would need to know when boarding your train. The ticket will obviously have your date, timing, and departure/destination details, but you will also see the train number on your far right. And this number is actually important to know, as it will help you determine the right platform to be on to catch your train.
It shows a 6:42.
And that's at the boarding entrance. You'll easily find the same number again just before you board the platform. And so that's a really foolproof way to make sure that you're about to head onto the correct platform. The next thing to look at would be the car number, which will tell you which carriage you need to be on. As you can see here, my ticket shows a 4, which means I need to be lining up at the boarding area for car 4. This next one's also obvious, and that is your seat number. Just make sure that that number matches the seat number as indicated here. And that leads quite nicely into this next section, where we talk about everything else you need to know about the train ride itself. First up is luggage restrictions. Any luggage that you bring on board shall not exceed 150 centimeters in length and can also be only up to 40 kilograms in weight. Bigger luggage bags would need to go into the luggage storage areas, and any hand carry pieces would need to be stowed away in the overhead compartments. You may also have other special items, like for example, if you have a baby stroller, those would need to be folded and stored away in the luggage storage area as well. Or if you have bicycles or musical equipment, the same thing will need to happen to those. To know for sure if you are abiding by the luggage storage rules, I would highly recommend speaking to someone at the counter and let them know that you do have one of these unusual luggage items, so that they can best advise you on how to proceed and even get you seats that are closer to the luggage storage areas. Next up is food. I would highly recommend you purchase some food for your train ride. In fact, I highly recommend it. It's part of the experience. You can either choose a bento box for the journey or just pick up some food items at the convenience stores beforehand. But whilst you are allowed to eat on board, I would recommend sticking to foods that are not going to be smelly or overly aromatic. I usually stick with sandwiches, fruits, and drinks. And that leads quite nicely into this next section, read train etiquette, in which I'm going to quickly go through a list of train etiquettes. Some may be obvious, some might be not, especially if you've never taken a high-speed rail before. 1. Smoking or vaping is strictly forbidden. 2. Please observe silence on the trains at all times, which means that 3. You also need to switch all your devices into silent mode. And 4. If you do need to take a phone call, please head into one of the vestibules in between the carriages to take your call. 5. Please refrain from taking off your shoes and placing your feet into the seat pockets, or worse, the fold-out dining table. And 6. Please chuck your rubbish at the bins located at the vestibule areas, or kindly pass them to the staff who periodically walk past the carriages to collect garbage. Please do not litter. Guess what? With all of the above information, you are ready to take on a THSR train like a seasoned pro. But if you do have a question, comment, or feedback for me, feel free to drop me a comment in the comment section, as I do appreciate hearing from the people who take time to watch my videos. I do hope that you found value in today's video, and if you have, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. All the good things that you know are going to appease those holy YouTube algorithm gods, but much more importantly, would just make my day as a content creator. Also, it's clear to me that you are planning a trip to Taiwan, so if you do need travel guides or recommendations as to places to check out in Taipei, Taichung, Kaohsiung, and Tainan, guess what? I've done travel guides for all of those. I'm gonna link some of those at the end of this video, and also the rest of them in my description box, so that you can go ahead and check those out next. And if you got to this point of the video, thank you so much for watching. I know I say this every single week, but I really do mean it when I say it means absolutely everything. As always, I hope that you have a fantastic day ahead, or that you've already had a good day. I'm gonna see you real soon in the next video. Ciao!